Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Pro Wrestling Logic YouTube channel and the Superstars of Wrestling review series. We are moving quickly through what's available on the Peacock Network in 1994, which isn't a heck of a lot. Probably, maybe about 10 episodes. But anyway, hopefully they'll add more of this and other years. We move towards the WrestleMania 10 program. We've got about four more of these to go. We've also got 1,300 other audios on top of these, so there's something you're going to like, both in the modern, my less favorite era, the modern era, and old school, full Superstars of Wrestling, or growing Superstars of Wrestling and Wrestling Challenge series, almost full Mid South Wrestling and World Class Championship Wrestling series. We're going to add as much as we can. Anyway, Scott Hall against the Phantom. Scott Hall, aka Razor Ramon, here. He's kind of getting ready for WrestleMania 10. What I would say is one of the biggest matches of his career, maybe the biggest match of his career. Shawn Michaels and Razor Ramon in the ladder match. Hall hits his signature spots: the choke slam, the back suplex, and the Razor's Edge. Going into the victory, he is your reigning Intercontinental Champion, obviously, and is recognized as such. Then they go to um, the update series with Gorilla Monsoon. They re-show clips from the WWF Funeral Parlor segment. Bret Hart says he'll do anything to win the championship. Owen Hart says he's going to stop Bret from winning the championship at WrestleMania 10. They re-show Luger on the Funeral Parlor, so there's dissension. I don't necessarily agree with the idea that there's dissension in the baby faces because ultimately I don't know that that was good for business. I think at one point Vince probably wanted to go with Luger at WrestleMania 10, and for whatever reason he stopped short of that. I think the Hulk Hogan thing and the American Hero thing had been played out by 1994, and I think Vince slowly, although begrudgingly, probably realized that. The Quebecers up next in an enhancement match. Also, we continue to see Nikolai Volkov on, I believe he's on Raw a couple times, on Challenge a couple times, and here on Superstars, in a very dilapidated 1970s suit. That's the idea. Jacques and Pierre, the Quebecers, do go pretty aggressively forward. The the body slam of one of one of the enhancement talents, followed by the cannonball from the top rope by the Quebecers, give them the victory that they so desperately desire. We go to Stan Lane, plugging the Fan Fest. More talk from Crush about how he's going to eliminate Randy Savage and how Savage is a traitor. Mr. Fuji alongside Crush in the event center environment. Stan Lane plugging that particular endeavor. The Fan Fest is probably, I think, the first one of its kind, which now becomes like every major pay-per-view 3 or 4 times a year. WWE does them, AEW doing them now, but here in 1994, the Fan Fest being able to get up close and do commentary or get autographs or do ring announcing or whatever. New concepts. Speaking of relatively new concepts, Bob Holly here in an enhancement match. Arm ringers, arm bars, fireman's carries, drop downs and drop kicks, and top rope splashes from Holly gives him the victory. Bob Holly still had not found where he belonged, per se, in the wrestling world. And then Shawn Michaels does a promo with a ladder here, basically saying that he's going to climb to the top of the ladder, be the Intercontinental Champion. No one's going to stop him. He's going to prove that he belongs at the top of the ladder, prove that he, in fact, is the true and rightful Intercontinental Champion. Really good promo work from Michaels at this time. I think 94 through 96 is Michaels' best work. I know a lot of people like his older work, but I tend to be partial to the Heartbreak Kid run until he turns babyface. Well, actually, no. The 92 to 95, right before he turns babyface again. Probably my most fond memories Shawn Michaels. I had some family members that weren't wrestling fans, but Shawn Michaels would, at this time period when I was a kid, would make them stop and watch. There was something about the way he carried himself that caught people's attention even then, and noticed it here. Phil Apollo and IRS up next. IRS hits a backbreaker after working the shoulder a couple of times. And then he uses the top rope as extra leverage for the abdominal stretch. And then he hits the running clothesline, which I still think he's calling the write-off at this point, getting a victory in the meantime. WrestleMania 10 report, another promo from Yokozuna, very basic. They list the celebrities and all of that. The destruction of Yokozuna and the fact that Jim Cornette, again, telling us that he doesn't think it's fair that his man has to be in the position to have to fight twice is there. Also, the announcement of the 10-man tag, Tatanka, Smoking Guns, 1-2-3 Kid and Bob Holly versus the Head Shrinkers, IRS, Rick Martel, and Jeff Jarrett, which never happens because the match runs long. If you haven't listened, by the way, recommendation of listening, if you haven't listened to the Jeff Jarrett My World podcast on Owen Hart, I happened to listen to that yesterday as I'm recording this, and it was by far one of the more emotional podcasts I've ever heard. I really like Jarrett on that podcast. I never did before. Had interacted with Jeff once or twice, and he seemed rather dismissive. But he on this podcast is showing a side of himself that I've never seen. Obviously, they're celebrities. They go through things. But he's a really likable guy, more likable than the average person may see him as on that podcast. So, in any event, Adam Bomb and Bret Hart, Bomb going pretty aggressively at Hart with some brawling tactics early. Bret comes back with a attempted diving crossbody, doesn't get what he wants on it. They go to the outside. Bomb continues the brawling techniques and likenesses here. And then Bomb brings him back in, uses power to get an advantage. At this point, I don't think Adam Bomb has turned babyface fully, but that turn seems to be in motion around the summer to fall of 1994. Big boot by Adam Bomb, and Bret does a fantastic job selling for him midway through the match, or close probably to the last third. Owen Hart makes his way out to the arena, wherein he is watching on for Bret to lose, kind of just supervising. Bomb takes the majority of the match. Bret does come back with his signature spots, the Russian leg sweep, and the second rope elbow on the inside. Bret basically, for as much as people who are Bret Hart fans like his stuff, he had certainly some signature spots akin to a Ric Flair, and Hart claims himself to be a better worker than Flair in a lot of ways. I see them as relatively similar. Then we go back to the event center segment where, once again, the Quebecers, Jacques and Pierre, make fun of Men on a Mission on the heels of their WrestleMania deal here. We continue the hype for WrestleMania 10. As we move into March, we will be back with more right after this.